Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm super excited. We're going to talk about Star Wars Eclipse. Now that is going to be a new Star Wars game coming, and it's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen before. So I am really excited. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Do you guys remember when I made this video right here? Do you guys remember when I made this? No, you probably don't, do you? Well, your boy called it. I actually listed Quantic Dream is my #1 pick for a developer that might make a Star Wars game, and I'm very excited for a Quantic Dream game. Now, if you've never played a Quantic Dream game, go check one out. Go play Detroit Become Human. It's great, and it should be hopefully a very good indicator of what we can expect from Star Wars Eclipse. Now, we've been told a little bit, we've seen a little bit like the cinematic trailer, but we haven't seen any gameplay. We don't know a whole lot about what to expect from Star Wars Eclipse, except what we can likely extrapolate from the existing, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, the existence of games already. So what we're going to do today is extrapolate from what Quantic Dream already does very well, assume that they are going to continue doing that, probably very well for Star Wars as well. And we are going to talk about what you should expect from Star Wars Eclipse, assuming you potentially have never played a Quantic Dream game, and what you should not expect from Star Wars Eclipse. So let's get into it. So the first thing that you should not expect from Star Wars Eclipse is going to be any sort of really super intense combat mechanics or combat styles, no Jedi Fallen Order where it's like Dark Souls style combat, no D20 mechanics like you'd expect from KOTOR, no hack and slash like you might see from, I don't know, Jedi Outcast, anything like that. I would not expect anything like that. The combat will be very simple. It won't really even be combat. What you're going to see is when your characters are performing some sort of action, you will just have to do a button press to make sure that they perform the action successfully. It will be time-based. So the difficulty of the game will scale on how long you are allowed to make that action. If you don't make the action in time or press the wrong button, then you will likely suffer some sort of consequence. If you do it correctly, then the game will advance, I guess, in the ideal way. Now, as I think I said, this is going to be very much unlike any other sort of Star Wars game that we've seen, and it is not combat driven in any sort of way. So if you are afraid of that, I would encourage you to go check out maybe Detroit Become Human, because it's going to be very different. This is going to be a story-driven game. It's going to be an RPG in the sense that you are, role-playing a character that they have crafted in a world that they have crafted, in a story that they have crafted. But it is not going to be like create your own character, which brings me to the next part, which is I would not expect a character creator like you would see maybe in Knights of the Old Republic. I would not expect to see that in this game. Again, if we're, extrapolating from Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, you don't create your characters you use the characters they give to you. They have their own personalities. You will see growth on that character based on the choices that you make in the game, but you are not going to create an archetype. You are not going to, craft the character yourself. You're going to be given a character that already has a little bit of a slate created for them. You won't get a blank slate, and then you can build on that character. You can change how they act, very likely, but you will not get a blank slate. You will not probably have a character creator. Now, something else, and this kind of, again, goes along with the no combat mechanics, there will likely not be a leveling up system, any sort of feats, any sort of powers that you're going to gain. That's really not usually how these games function. Again, this is, imagine it's like one of those like Goosebumps, like write your own, like go to page 25, or, one of those movies on Netflix where it's like, what choice do you want to make? You're going to be making choices. You're not going to be playing like an action-based game. So don't expect any sort of progression system for your characters. It is very much going to be like you're watching a movie or reading a book and making the choices for your characters. That is what I would expect. Don't expect anything combat-driven, any sort of progression system. Your progression is going to be your progression and your characters, progression in terms of their story arc and their personality and their character development throughout the game. This is very much going to be more like a movie or a book, and not like a traditional video game that you potentially have played before. Now, next we're going to talk about what you can expect from this game. And if you are not really sure, again, if you've never played a game like this or a Quantic Dream game, a few games you can go play or watch some gameplay of to determine if you are going to enjoy this would be Heavy Rain, although that one hasn't aged abundantly well depending on what platform you're playing on. Detroit Become Human, phenomenal game. The Man of Medan from the Dark Pictures is very good in the other games in those series. Life is Strange 1 and 2, Until Dawn. All of these games are kind of more story-driven, and you're making choices. Your characters are not really evolving in terms of like skills. They're evolving in terms of their development. Those are the types of games that if you want to know a little bit more about what to expect, go watch some gameplay. Go try playing those games. I recommend you play them. They're phenomenal. And that is what I would expect from this game. Now let's talk about what you should expect from this game. What you should expect: beautiful graphics. I expect that the graphics are going to be phenomenal. If you watch Detroit Become Human, that's not a brand new game, and it still looks just beautiful, I think, in terms of graphics, and I would expect nothing less. If you've seen the trailer for the game, the trailer looks so good. So I would expect the game to look absolutely beautiful, because once again, they're not being hampered by a game where you have to make choices and it has to account for different things that your character could do. It is very much like a movie, so I would expect will have very beautiful graphics. So I would be very excited for that. Now, the next thing, part of playing with multiple characters, something that you should expect is that your main characters are going to be expendable. Yes, this will be very much, again, it'll be like other Quantic Dream games, but if you haven't played one of those, think The Walking Dead, think Game of Thrones, think your characters could die. So back earlier when I said you fail to make a button press, something happens, it could be that you fail to make the button press and your guy dies because of it. Very, very possible. Or it could be like Until Dawn, a choice you make just straight up gets you killed. I know that Until Dawn was not created by Quantic Dream, but very similar type of game. So be wary that depending on how the decisions you make, kind of the story arc your character progresses on, could lead to the demise of that character or the demise of another character. So be aware that that very well could happen. Next up, I would expect a decent amount of replayability. One thing that you might think is, because this is a narrative-based game where you're basically watching a story progress, you might think this is not a replayable game. But what I would expect is, if you have seen Detroit Become Human, every choice you make arcs off into another tree, which can vastly change the outcome of the story, where, people survive, people don't. If people die off at the very beginning, how does that affect the rest of the game? Versus if your character survives until the very end, you might get a very different type of story. So I would expect it to be relatively replayable at least a few times, because you are going to see a very different story depending on the choices you make. And historically, very small choices do have very large impacts on the story. So expect your choices to matter and expect that to add to the replayability of the game. All right, guys. So really, those are my thoughts. Those are my predictions on what I expect personally from Star Wars Eclipse. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for this game? Is this not really your cup of tea? I understand that these games aren't really for everyone. I personally am very excited. I do plan, when this comes out, just like KOTOR Remake, it will be streamed on this channel. We'll be doing it, of course, because I am very excited for this game. Love Quantic Dream. Love the games I've played by them. Love this genre of game. So I'm very excited. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you agree on what I think is going to be coming? Do you want to see anything else coming? Be realistic about your desires. If you want to see a hack and slash, if you want to see KOTOR style combat, it's just not going to happen. Very, very unlikely. So try to be realistic about what your expectations are. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Helps other people find it. Helps with YouTube algorithm. It makes me feel good to know that I'm delivering you guys content that you enjoy. I know I talked really fast. I'm going to talk really fast now. I'm sorry, guys. It's, you watch my content. I talk fast. I apologize. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Talk to you guys later in a later video. Have a good one. Thank you.